Welcome to This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My name is Matt Menzel, and our emphasis this week will be on both women's volleyball and women's cross country, and being joined by sophomore Emma Arns, who was named the 2023 NAC Cross Country Freshman of the Year. And let's start there and what that honor meant to you.
It was really just a great opportunity to be able to race at that high of a level and just compete in our conference and be able to earn that accolade after working so hard that whole season.
So for you, what was the biggest adjustment? What was maybe the biggest difference from competing at the high school level versus collegiately?
Probably the distance of race, running the 6K. The extra kilometer does make a big difference from high school. It's more endurance, more focus on that extra piece and training for that.
How about from a training or preparation standpoint, did anything change this offseason versus last offseason going into your freshman year?
Yeah, the mileage definitely increased this season. Over the summer, we had some harder workouts, longer workouts, and then just from high school and last season, it was a greater volume.
Now, you got the opportunity to compete for the first time here this season, this past weekend, with 23 minutes, 41.34 seconds. How did you feel your first opportunity went here in 2024?
It was just great to be back racing. I've been injured for the beginning of this season, so getting to just come back and have a decent time, not my fastest, but something good to start out with, was really great to see.
Being that it was your first race and coming back from injury, was the strategy a little different than maybe it normally would be?
Yes, I didn't really have a plan going into it. I was just going to try and finish the race pain-free, and whatever happened, happened. And I ended up running some pretty good splits, and I didn't have any pain, which was just such a blessing for that race.
How about for the team? It seemed like you guys did very well against some very good competition nationally. When you look at the who's who in Division III, and as a team, the women's side finished 17th out of 44. Your thoughts on the way the team performed?
Yeah, we've had some really strong performances this year. The girls' team is progressing really nicely. We have a super strong top 7, and I think we're going to perform really well in the conference.
And getting the opportunity to compete at night, which is a little bit different. And how different is that for you?
Well, I had a race similar to this in high school, so I kind of knew what to expect going into it, but it's very dark. The whole course is not lit up at all points. So there was some times where you're going up hills or going down into ravines that you're kind of losing your footing or tripping a little bit, just not knowing what's beneath you.
Do you get the opportunity before it gets dark to kind of at least see the course so you kind of somewhat know what to expect?
Yeah, we got on a little bit of the course, but not all of it. So we didn't have a great idea of what was out there in the woods, but in the open fields, we could kind of guess what we were going to get into.
And you look temperature-wise, I'm sure it started to cool off on Saturday night. It's certainly starting to cool off outside. Is this the ideal temperature to run in?
It was pretty close. It was nice not having the sun on our backs, and just being able to run in a cool evening was very nice.
You talked about the way that the team's performed so far, and on the women's side, you look at the breakdown of the roster with a couple of seniors, 4 juniors, 9 sophomores, 3 freshmen. I guess your thoughts on just the way the whole team's developing as a whole?
Yeah, they seem to be getting just much stronger every meet, and I think that we're going to have a pretty strong team for the next couple years here with the younger side of the team.
Is there good competition in practices? Do you guys push each other?
Yeah, we all run in a group together, and workouts we definitely push each other a little bit and work together to get stronger, but just a lot of good conversation and camaraderie with the team.
Now, the team is coming off a NAC championship in cross country last season. What are your feelings about here in 2024? Who seems to be, I guess in your opinion, based on maybe what you followed, who tends to be the closest competition team-wise?
It's likely going to be Aurora, but coming off the night race that we just had, both the men's and the women's teams finished ahead of Aurora, so we're pretty confident going into conference.
And still a couple more opportunities here to compete here in the fall. Finally, for you, what do you hope to accomplish, you personally, here with what's left here in this season?
Just to keep getting stronger every race, focusing on staying healthy, and then hopefully a new PR by the end of the season.
Great. Emma, all the best to you and the team here, and looking to repeat here in 2024.
Thank you.
More to come as we continue with This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
I can't imagine being any other profession than an orthopedic surgeon. We have the privilege and we have the responsibility to make people better. We've been fortunate enough to take care of professional athletes. We've also been fortunate enough to take care of our neighbors and friends who trust us to give them back their life.
One of the main reasons I came here was because this is the way healthcare is meant to be delivered. Being devoted exclusively to orthopedic care means that we can focus on delivering specialized care for every patient. And that includes not only the surgeons and the physicians, but also anesthesia, controlling pain, the nurses, and the scrub techs, and everyone in recovery is dedicated to treating conditions that are very similar for people.
Our tagline is an uncommon focus on you. We think the focus on the patient experience is what sets us apart. Before we make any process or clinical decision at the hospital, we start with the same question: is this what's best for the patient? If we can't answer yes, we move on to the next idea. Our nurses provide care for no more than 3 patients per shift, whereas other facilities, they might provide care for 7 or even 8 patients per shift. We think this personalized care is what sets us apart from others.
I think that dedication to our patients is our #1 focus. And you can technically do a good operation, but if you're not centered on the patient, they're not necessarily going to have a great outcome.
The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is physician-owned. It's physician-led. We have the responsibility to make the right decision for every patient. We also have the freedom to make the right decision for every patient.
Physicians and staff collaborate through regular meetings, weekly and monthly, and with a relatively small team, we're able to change the way we do things if we need to tweak something to make it perfect.
The facility specifically was designed so that quality could be measured and maintained and sustained. When you have 7,000 patients a year receive their surgery here, it's important that patient number 1 and patient number 7,000 receive the same care.
We place an extremely high priority on the patient experience here. We send surveys to each and every person that receives care at our hospital. Those survey results come back directly to me. I review them and share them with our senior leadership, as well as the staff and the physicians that provide the care to those patients.
There's almost 5,000 hospitals in the country that are measured. The Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin measures number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not runner-up, number 1 in patient satisfaction in the state of Wisconsin for the last 10 years running.
And we continue with This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Our focus now on women's volleyball as they continue a 4-match homestand this week with matchups on Thursday at 7 p.m. against the Alverno College Inferno. And then it's Alumni Day coming up on Saturday at 12 noon against Edgewood College. Brianna Lunt, a junior defensive specialist, and libero kind of to join us. And you look, okay, you started this 2-match homestand with a couple of victories last week. How nice is it to finally just kind of be at home for a little bit of time now and kind of get into a home routine?
It's been like super nice just being able to be around here, and I think just like the energy that we've created this year with like being at home with the new gym is super inviting, and I think just like the energy and like the trust we've like built with the team here has been like outstanding, and it's just been very rewarding.
Let me ask you about the new gym. You've been around this program now for 3 seasons. What do you think of the renovated John Book Fieldhouse?
I love it. It just is like another motivation piece of coming in every day and working hard. It's a nice gym to play in, so very nice.
Going back to last week, you guys had victories against Marion in 4 sets and then also knocked off Illinois Tech 3-0. It was the Dig Pink matchup on Thursday. It was Parents' Day on Saturday. Your thoughts on the way the team played in those 2 matchups?
I would say that I was super proud of how the team, we've been really like focusing and building on like our being like intentional with each other. So we've been like really trying to create that like special team bond with each other. And I think like this last week we've really have shown and proved like what we do need from each other and just like how important it is. Like each person's role on the court is super important, and like working together is just like we will win games when we can like come together. So.
And you certainly did on Saturday, putting your foot on the gas and never letting up in that sweep of Illinois Tech. Mention the themes of those particular matchups, the Dig Pink night, but also the Parents' Day. What do those themes mean to you?
I don't know. They just like, I don't know, I think it's like a huge support, and like it gives you like something to look forward to, like having like people come from like all different areas and just being able to come together as one, and knowing that like you have such important people behind you also supporting like such an important thing for like your whole college career and just like in volleyball in general. For you, okay, so you go back a couple of years and didn't get into a match, but eventually did last year. Your roles increased even more so now here as a junior. How do you feel like you've improved? What have you learned in that time now as a Falcon? I've learned a lot of patience and just like trusting the process, and I think God too has like had a huge part in that. Just like taking each day and working hard and wanting to like improve. Like a goal that I had this season was whatever role I was given, I was going to be that best teammate and just being like that comfort person where everybody could go to. So I just really came into this year with like a big mindset for myself, and I wanted to complete some big goals for myself. So. As mentioned, you sport the other jersey, the libero jersey, if you will, the number 1 libero jersey on a match-by-match basis, and a number of digs come with that responsibility. But for libero, what are the responsibilities of a libero? I think just creating that consistent energy and being everybody's like backup. So like I always want to get feedback, and I'm always there like covering behind my players, and I feel like it's my job to like kind of be everybody's like route of comfort. So like if somebody needs something from me, like I'm gonna give them that piece, and hopefully like that will bleed into like the rest of the plays. So. And you look right now, you've had 10-plus digs on 11 different occasions, a high of 24 at one point this season. You happy with your play and how you've been developing? I am. I think that my overall confidence like throughout the matches have been like super high. I came from like a place where I like to overthink, and it took me a little bit to get out of my head. But this year I'm taking it point by point and making sure that I'm clearing my mind so that I'm doing my job and playing for my teammates instead of like selfishly thinking in my brain. So right now the Falcons 8 victories, 9 defeats, off to a 3-1 start in conference play, 4-1 here inside the John Boog Field. Let's wrap it up by looking at the week ahead. We mentioned Alverno coming to town on Thursday, Edgewood coming up on Saturday. In your opinion, for this team to continue to have success and to make some noise once NAC tournament play comes a calling, what needs to happen? I think we just need to take each practice like a game, like having that mindset coming into the court every day at practice. And it starts with like having that feedback, having that trust between players, being intentional, and just working hard each and every day and wanting to become better, not only for yourself, but for your teammates and the coaches. So. Well, Brianna, all the best to you and the team this week and going forward. Thank you much. And when you look at the week ahead for Falcons athletics, a busy week. We mentioned volleyball will be home both Thursday and coming up on Saturday. We had cross country in our first segment. They are next in action October 19th for the Wisconsin Private College Championships here at Concordia. But also of note, men's soccer is hosting MSOE, Fill the Hill at Fitting Field on Wednesday at 4 p.m. before they visit a high-powered offense in Edgewood coming up on Saturday. The women's team will be at MSOE at Edgewood on Wednesday and Saturday. Football is home, a big one against Aurora. Kickoff at 1 o'clock from Tomasini Stadium. ACHA hockey starts life on the road. A busy 4-game week starts tonight at MSOE at 9 p.m. Also of note, field hockey is home both Saturday and Sunday. Kenyon at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Sewanee at 12 noon on Sunday. And finally, triathlon competes on Saturday, plus men's golf is in action on Sunday and Monday. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Falcons Athletics, presented by Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.